set.
Okay.
I'll hear it when the music come out.
5 seconds.
Where you going? Sit up here.
It's time. It's time. It's time for the wake up call, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yo, it's time. He's on the line. This is knowledge and power for every mankind. For every generation that's in these streets. We making sure you ain't walking in your sleep. We're in your town, your city, and community, promoting good health, wealth, and unity. We educating everybody, y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, and the wake up call.
It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Make some noise in the house. Hey, I guess that banner worked, you know. I got the new banner. You like that? Constant improvement of the radio production and broadcast. We're live on the corner, Grand River in Wyoming. We do this every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes. The breakfast is free. The conversation is free. The talent we haven't decided. But Ed is already negotiating his fee, which you will pay.
And that's free.
Yeah. And we got some folks gone. Chantel's not here today. Brother David's not here with us today. But my regular co-host, my high school classmate by 1 year, Ed Collins here. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning. Good morning.
And I got to ram in the bush, my youth minister. His mother was one of my mentors, one of the stellar, outstanding teachers in the Detroit public school system. That's Brother Carl Robinson.
How you doing?
Say something. Put your headsets on, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you an author, you do all that, and I got to make you talk.
He a rookie in this venue.
And he's got a Fisk University
he's
sweatshirt on.
Tell me your mother's name.
Elizabeth Robinson.
Dr. Robinson. She was tough on teachers, but her goal was always that the students would benefit from her toughness.
There you go.
Is that a good way of putting it? She took no mess from her teachers, no excuses. I don't accept excuses from students, and I'm sure not going to accept them from teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I had the great pleasure working under her for 3 years. In fact, it was the last school I taught at. I came from Finney to Poe Trainable. Yeah. Yep. All right. So look, we got tons of Imagine premiere tickets to see movies at the Imagine theaters, which is really a nice complex, right?
Yes.
Good seats. You know, you can escape. You know, if you're there with someone you ain't supposed to be with, you can put the seat all the way back, and nobody knows you even there. Y'all want some tickets? Yeah, you got to go to the movie. Don't sell nothing I give you. Also, Mike, we're supposed to be giving away some of my hoodies. Now, if we don't have your size here, we'll get it for you because we're moving Monday from this building while we do construction. This building, this part will stay here. The broadcast will be here. But during the week from now on, we will be over on Wyoming, 16501 Wyoming. So you won't be able to access our program activity here, just our broadcast on Saturdays. All right. Also, sitting here is Mark Jones. What's up, Mark?
What's up? Lions all the way, baby.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll get to that in a moment. I'm just introducing you right now. And since you brought that up, we'll be leaving tomorrow for Philadelphia, right?
Right. Can't wait.
And we'll be watching the last time I went to the Philadelphia Lions game in Philadelphia, I was with Billy Paul, my friend, the singer. He's from Philly.
Right.
And he and can't think the other person's name with him, dogged me the whole game because they put a whipping on Detroit. And I'm going to bring him by spirit with me tomorrow night. So when we whip them, I can get on him as well. All right, we have our other co-host who came. She may not be here when you want her, but she's on time. What's your name?
I'm Sabrina Athena.
You got to speak right into the mic.
Sabrina Athena.
There you
Peace,
go.
everybody.
I don't know, what is it about these mics people don't like to speak right into them?
You're just so close to your mouth. You want to.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's how they work. Yeah, we don't have lavaliers and little earpieces. You know, this is the technology that we have. All right, what's going on, Ed? This is our checkup from the neck up.
Well, you don't know, but yesterday was my youngest grand's birthday.
How old?
9.
Wow.
Yep. And
How many do you have, Ed?
I have 3.
3, okay.
And he is a pistol. He kind of reminds me of myself. He don't take no mess
Well,
from nobody.
He ain't a pistol. He's a shotgun.
Well, there you go.
357 Magnum is what he is.
And he already got player in his blood.
Player.
That's right, player.
All right. Well, I thought you did most of your playing on the field, but
No.
that I think about it, that wasn't true either.
See there, it was a 50-50 proposition.
Yeah, my little Alora, my granddaughter, my youngest granddaughter will be 2 on December 1st. And I have a whole car full of stuff that I purchased for both of them. My granddaughter, Lauren, came down. She spent the day, election day, right?
Uh-huh.
And rode around with us and all of that. And bottom line is she left her Juicy Couture coat at the MGM Grand, and she didn't know what suite she had it in because she put on one of Mary's hoodies and could not find that coat. So I went and bought her 2. You know how granddaddies do.
Tragedy to triumph.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she really missing her coat, and I found one just like the one she had. What's going on with you, Carl?
Nothing. I'm finishing up my second book. That's what I was talking to brother just now, and it's a lot of work.
That's his name, brother, just now?
Well, I think that's Joe's brother.
Okay.
Is that your brother?
That's
The
his
father.
father, yeah. That's his
Okay.
father.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get confused who the father is, who the son is, but you know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
They're both members of my church, along with
Yeah, I
you.
know. I know you just got
Yeah.
to join. That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, we got new technology here too that we actually tested this week. So we now can bring people up on the screen and have them interviewed. We've already got a confirmation from Ben Crump, confirmation from Keith Ellison, Jamal Bryant, and others. So we'll be really bringing you a tremendous platform here with national, international leaders, etc., that will fill the screen. So what's going on with you, Ed?
Well,
you said your grandchild.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it. And just the same old children at the crib because it's too cold outside. It's
Children
in
at-
between.
So
It's in between outside.
so your private room money's gone up, right?
Oh, you know it. You can't come into the house empty-handed.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, Athena, what's going on with you?
This week was incredible for me. It's my birthday. So
See?
I celebrated a birthday, the big 4-0. And I also launched my company, the Goddess Workshop, with brand management and media training. So I'm really excited about that. And today I speak at CreatorCon.
All right, so let's talk about our guest today. I guess Ike McKinnon is coming, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I have everything, Joe. I mean, I'm still confused about all of this. There you go.
You got Amanda Trepper.
it's-
The collating. So, a couple quick announcements. Is she ready to do announcements real quick? We got 2 minutes. Bring us on the announcements. But we must mention we also broadcast on Sports Rap Radio 107.5. That's supposed to be 5.1 if I'm not mistaken, HD2. But go right ahead. All right, she's looking for those. We also want you to know that Nzima, who is a tremendous violinist, who's the violinist for, go ahead, you do them.
She's with Florella Strings.
We can't hear you at all.
She's with the Florella Strings, and they'll be at the Bridge Center
We
Library.
can't hear her at all, so she's not going through the board.
They'll be at the
There you go.
Bridge Center Library.
Who will be?
Florella Strings.
No, but who's the
And-
main
Oh,
headliner?
it's
Nzima.
Nzima.
Yeah.
And Florella Strings will be at the Bridge Center Library on December 10th from 7 to 9. The doors open at 6, and you must RSVP on Event Noir.
Yeah, and we got a new system. If you keep RSVPing and not showing, you won't be able to RSVP in the future. Keep going.
Help us make Christmas very merry on Saturday, December 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the Bridge Center Library. That's 9928 Grand River. You can sign up with families with children in need of assistance this holiday season.
All right, and we're going to keep the QR code up because you want to do this sooner rather than later because we're running out of spaces. Amazon donated 15,000. I have another person that's about to donate a significant amount, and we're going to be able to double the kids. So see that QR code? If you have families in need, come scan it at some point during the day. Keep going.
Join us for our entertainment series with Don D.C. Curry on January 14th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Bridge Center Library.
This is brought to you by Corewell Health, and this is going to be, the flyers being redone, this is going to be our celebration of Dr. King's birthday. Next.
That's all we have for right now.
Okay, so you don't have the stylistics? I'll send it over.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We have the
See, that's why if you're the
stylistics.
CEO, you're supposed to know everything, right? Yeah.
We have the stylistics coming on February 25th at the
Bet
Bridge
you
Center
by
Library.
golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever. And ever will my love for you keep growing strong. Keep growing strong.
Amen.
There you go. That's my guy, Russell Tompkins. I was at his wife's funeral. I've known them for 30 years. I am the first person, after all the legal stuff they went through and they were banned from using the stylistics because a person who had managed them realized that it had not been copywritten and filed, took the name, assembled some folks who were not in the original group. But when he came out of that morass, I was the first person to book him, and he tells people all over that Reverend Sheffield brought me back. All right, let's get into sports on the mark. What's up, Mark Jones?
What's going on, man?
The other guys said they were tired of arguing with you about your call, so they didn't come.
And I'm jumping at the bits.
They're losing the fight. That's why. No, they're
Just like the Lions.
no, the Lions, man. They 6-3. They came out and played
Yeah, I
well.
hear you, but let me ask you this right out the box.
Yes.
Was the difference in that game the fact that the coach made the offensive calls? And
Yes.
is that something that's going to continue? Obviously, doesn't like what and a big part of what we've been seeing has been the offensive part of this game.
Yeah, they've been bad. They
Right.
haven't been the team that we thought they would be.
Yeah.
22nd. They were 22nd in third down conversions under Johnny Morton. They were. It was the offense was too complicated. They can't run with it under his plays. And then Campbell comes out and puts on a banger.
Right.
That is
that tells you something.
It
But
does.
why didn't he bang the offensive coordinator and say bye?
well, I think that there's work that he can do during the season. He
Right.
needs them because the coach is the coordinator of the team, just like you are of Dabo. So he needs them, but I think he's gone at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bits because my favorite player signed a 4-year contract for $180 million.
Who was that?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, after he signs this contract for $180 million, which is $45 million a year, they play Washington. He had a perfect game.
Right.
No tackles, no assists, no sacks, and
Well, he gets a game to celebrate, doesn't he?
no zeros, perfect zeros in the game for $180 million.
But they did point out that he had a lot of rushes. He rushed the
No,
quarterback,
he ain't had no rushes.
and his impact was.
Well,
felt on the team.
I can't look. I can't tell people that I'm the man simply because I called Halle Berry 5 times. Only when she goes out.
You know what? That reminds me of Michael Spinks when he fought Mike Tyson. The bell rung, he laid down the corner and said, "Give me my money."
Yeah.
So that's what I think Aiden is doing. He $45 million a year.
That's one game.
It doesn't matter.
He's coming back.
Look at
Watch.
if you get 100. I mean, you get $45 million a year. You're supposed to have some kind of productivity every game.
Do you want to get rid of him?
I sure would.
Okay,
100.
well, you're the
180
only man in Detroit that would get rid of Aiden
Okay,
Hutchinson.
you just watch your stats for the rest of the season. That's all I can say.
All right, we will.
0, 0, 0, 0. He might as well not, and he played the whole game. He might as well sat on
All
the
right.
bench.
Let's
you
get
now,
somebody
it won't
else.
be
Let's
that
get somebody else in this fight.
Yeah.
Sabrina, you have a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Listen, I know that the Lions are gonna fare well because we're doing really good. We got a really good season on our way here with the Pistons and the Lions. How do you think they're gonna fare against the Eagles this week?
Yeah,
Do they have enough firepower?
But we're going to the game. We'll be there.
Right.
And if they play like they did the last game, yes.
Mhm.
They got to run. They got a good running game. They got to make sure that the offensive line can get pushed and open up the running game so that the passing game can be successful. Our team is based off of Goff having about 25 throws a game and the running game leading the team. The defense has to play well,
Yeah.
and we'll be fine.
And Golf played a better game last week too.
Yeah.
But he's been on and off as well.
Yeah.
He's a pocket passer. He can't scramble. So you're saying the Lions are going to beat Philadelphia?
Yeah, the pundits say that we're a two and a half point underdog, but when you're away, you usually get 3 points. So really, they're saying that the Lions are going to squeak it out.
Okay.
So everybody's on the same page. Lions will win. It's going to be cold. Now,
it's not going to be cold. It's going to be 60 degrees
at night.
Cold.
Yes, I watched
Yeah.
it. It's going to be 61 degrees at game time.
I got another question.
I'm wearing 2 coats. So it doesn't matter either.
What about those fans? I heard that you shouldn't wear.
I'm not wearing. The only place I feel comfortable wearing Lions gear is Green Bay and Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and New Orleans. New Orleans is actually the best because when they start losing, they start partying with you.
Nice.
Chicago, I've never gone back because they actually attacked us and Alan Klein, who owned Diamond Collateral. We were sitting with our two spinners, wife and them. They threw beer on them. My son, I had to hold him back because he's about to bash some heads. And then the police come, after it was clearly identified who was doing what, and we did nothing in response and act like they want to arrest us. So we just left and said, we'll never come back. And we haven't. That's been 15 years.
Yikes.
I will never go to a Chicago Bears game in Chicago. It's a racist place. New Orleans is fun and frolic. They don't care. They want to, who that dad? They want to have fun, and they drink enough so that after the first quarter, they'll know which team is which.
It's a good party no matter what in New
It's
Orleans.
a party, period.
Yeah.
And it's similar to that in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a good time. What I really liked about Green Bay is when we finally won there last year, the people, because, the people really kind. Said, man, you guys gonna get it this year. I'm glad. Carol, you got a question for the sports pundit over here?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really? You got a comment then?
No, I'm glad the Pistons are doing pretty good.
We're gonna turn to them next.
Yeah.
Anything else about the NFL that we need to know? The Lions that you want to talk about, or anything in the NFL?
Chicago is tied for the conference lead, and that's bad. If the Lions had beaten Minnesota, they'd be in the lead. But we just got to keep winning and see if we can get to that Super Bowl.
Yep. Okay. Well, you guys got a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Talking Super Bowl, they're playing worse than they did last year, but you still got them going to the Super Bowl.
Well, we knew that they were going to have a tougher schedule, and that
it's not the tough. It's not the toughness of the schedule. It's been the performance of the players that make a difference. And
the teams that they're playing could make the performance worse.
I got that, but I'm saying is what they're doing now is they have a bad game and they bounce back and you see another team. I want to see the same team all the time.
Consistency.
Yeah, I don't want to see a good team only after they got whipped.
You want your offense to stay
it's
on
like
the field.
that's like a husband that come home next week, because he got out of the doghouse and do everything fine, but the week after he right back to the same stuff.
Right. You got to keep the offense on the field.
All right.
Defense got and be ready to play.
Yeah, but one thing I do know, when they play like they can play, they're one of the best teams in the league. They got a stellar offense. They got a great defense. The offensive backfield is equal to none.
That's phenomenal.
I have one good final question for real. Like, we always say the Lions is going to the Super Bowl, at least the last 5 years.
Who says that?
We, the people.
I don't say it.
Some of the people do. And I need to understand, is it real this time? Because my heart can't take it for real.
It's as real as Santa was until you were 8.
Listen, I don't know. I hope it is. They have the team to do it. They just need the breaks. Last year, they got a lot of injuries, and that hurt their
Let me
chances.
just cut this off real quick. and tell you what I really think.
Go ahead.
I think people are happy just to have a winning team, and whether they make the Super Bowl or not ain't gonna make no difference, right? I mean, they support his team when they didn't win it at all.
That's it.
So fans unhappy? Hell no. They like what they got, even if it don't do any better. All right, you wanted to talk about the Pistons? Ask this question. Yeah.
No, I was just watching the Pistons, and I've always wanted to go to the game down there, and I don't know what they're doing right or whatever, but it seemed like it's working.
Well, they're 11-2.
Yeah.
They won like 8 games in a row.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, they're deep. They've had 7 players hurt. I didn't think they could beat Chicago the other day with 7. With Cade, their star was out. And the bench came out and beat Chicago. They beat the 76ers last night again with a shorthanded team. They are deep. They play hard. They play physical basketball. It's like the bad boys all over.
Yeah.
Now
ain't nothing like the bad boys.
You can't open up that closet. Rodman ain't here no more.
Come on, man. I know marijuana's legal.
Cade Cunningham is a superstar.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and that's
Jalen Duren is a second.
Back up. Miracles do happen. Because I even remember you, along with me, questioning whether or not Cade had the ability to carry the team. Why would they give him the ball at the end? Right or wrong?
He's changing that.
I'm just saying. So we were at a point where we didn't see that.
Yeah. But he's grown. He wasn't the star that Isaiah was when he came into the league.
Right. He had to be groomed.
But he had to be groomed, and he's getting the potential, the confidence, and he's able to play. He had the best ability is availability, and he was not available. He was hurt.
Right.
Well, what we're forgetting is that those second team players play with each other against the first team. So they have a chemistry already. So when they come into the game, they are game ready because they played or practiced against our best.
So I know this is a totally different question, but somewhat related because he was with the Pistons. The young player that was suspended because of gambling act
Malik Beasley.
And then he got cleared, right?
He got cleared, but they put another cloud on it saying that they're still investigating. But he's cleared. It would be good for the Pistons to pick him up, I think.
Right.
Because he can shoot. The weakness that the Pistons have
is a shooter.
Is the shooting. Right. Outside shooting. They need another
one. You got somebody you can call.
Who, you?
No. Well, let's call Aaron. Tell him. We'll call Aaron. I got his cell number. Aaron, give this young man a chance.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think he deserves it.
I think we ought to make some noise on that.
Make some noise.
All we are saying is what? Give who?
Malik Beasley.
Give Beasley a chance.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
But
can I say something that people are not gonna like?
What?
Stuff that taints us is a taint for us, but it's an ain't for them.
There it is. Say it again.
There's a taint for us, but an ain't for them. Unless they come in the room and see you doing it, if you're a certain white player, all the speculation and innuendo will not affect your bottom line.
That's right. No, you're not gonna believe your lying eyes.
And that's what you call making room for more white players. Oh, y'all don't like that, but I mean, really.
No.
I mean, the young man, until it's proven, which they removed the initial cloud over his head, why can't he come back and play?
I think he should be able to come back and
play.
Right. Unfortunately, he has lost a lot of money.
Right.
Millions. But let him get a chance to play.
Yeah, give him some more money to bet with.
And he was good here in Detroit. He was a good teammate.
No question.
He played well, and he shot the ball.
Yeah, here's the thing about gambling that gets me anyway, and parse it for us. It's not gambling that's illegal. It's when you gamble on your own stuff, right? Or you gamble on the games. Is that it?
Yeah.
Because if gambling was a problem, they wouldn't have it legalized.
Right.
Tell me, Mike, what is the difference? Because they just suspended. Was it 4 more players this past week?
Well, what they don't, what they don't want you to do is bet on your
own game.
Your own game and your own sport, because you have inside information.
Right. Well, let me just tell you this.
But those parlays they got to
get
rid of.
Let me tell you how hypocritical it is. Because they allowed the illegals to sleep in the same bed. One owned a casino, one owned a Major League Baseball team.
That's true.
Where was the collateral stop?
That's right. You're not supposed
did
to
Did they go in a skiff when they had sex so nobody could hear what they were talking about, the money and the teams? Come on.
Where's the threshold for intermingling?
You know what I'm saying, Carl?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if that's not the height of hypocrisy. Any rate, you got another question, Sabrina?
Well, I said, what's the threshold of intermingling on that level? Because at some point there's a ceiling that gets broke. But
Let's not put him on the spot.
Not
He works
doing
for a
it.
corporation. His
Respectfully.
views and opinions are those of Mark Jones and not of DTE Energy.
very well, very well. But
You said that well.
I want to get into the Big Ten. Can we talk about football updates? What's
Oh,
going on
yeah.
with U of M? What's going on with MSU?
Who plays today up in Michigan? Is it
Michigan
And
plays Northwestern
Yeah.
at Wrigley Field at noon.
right
Michigan State plays Penn State at 3:30. Neither of those
in
teams,
Lansing?
yes, neither of those teams has won a Big Ten game, and I think that's going to be a barn burner.
Right.
I can't wait to see that game.
They're all
I do
fighting
pick-
for their first win.
I do pick Penn State to win it, though. I think they just got more talent.
The Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I do pick them, and I picked Michigan to beat Northwestern at Wrigley Field.
So who is the best in a couple of teams, top two teams in the
Big Ten?
football? No, just in NCAA football.
Well, you got to look at
Division One.
Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama's coming on.
Who would ever think Indiana would be up in that?
Yeah, they're playing, man. Their schedule's not that tough, but they're playing. Everybody they play, they beat,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and they've done well in the portal. So hey, more
So who
power
do you
to
think
them.
will be the national champs?
I'd pick Ohio State right now,
Right.
unfortunately.
And Ohio State spends how much money on NIL?
I can't remember. That's a good
But aren't they?
question.
I think they're kind of at the top, aren't they?
They're at the top. Michigan's high, but Ohio State's. I know that they make the most money in NCAA.
You mean Ohio State does?
Yes,
Yeah, and that's off of jerseys and all kinds
all
of
kind
stuff.
of stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah. Is it true? And I don't mean to take the whole conversation. Is it true that most of these athletic programs generate enough revenue that they also support other programs at the school? I mean, it's like
Yeah.
Football does that. Yes.
Right, right.
Football pays for every other sport
wow, that's interesting. Yeah,
except basketball. Basketball is self-sufficient.
Right.
It really depends on what school you have with the basketball.
yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
So the young man who plays quarterback for U of M, who comes from here,
Bryce Underwood.
comes from, is it Belleville?
Yes, he does.
What was his NIL? What did he get?
Well, he got the potential to make $12 million. School paid him 2 or 3, and he has all these incentives that he could make if he stays healthy, plays, and all that. Stays 4 years, so it can be up to $10 to $12 million.
My God, I need an NIL deal.
I need one as well.
Oh my God,
They're
you
thinking
tell-
about giving high school students NIL deals.
I've been reading that.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that would take care of a lot of people, though. Be
Well,
good
there's a
thing.
lot of, look, the number of outstanding high school athletes who didn't do well afterwards. I think of Larry Fogel. Larry Fogel was one of the best
Hey, who you
players in the league ever. I mean, still holds the scoring record. He scored 63 in one game, 72 in another. Am I right, Ed?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Bubba Hawkins was outstanding and didn't do much else afterwards. I mean, I can think of some other players as well.
Who's that big? He was a big guard, and Michigan moved him to a forward. He didn't do well.
That's to my Mike Weaver, are you?
No. I'm trying.
Basketball?
The last name started with basketball. Name started with a T.
I don't know. But I know there's some outstanding athletes in high school who, for whatever reason, Cyrus Mann at Southeastern, 6'10". Stowe Havlicek's, John Havlicek's car, he was in Boston. You know the story, right? Wound up washing cars on Werner and Shane. I mean, that'd be great.
Great player.
Absolutely. Maybe I get some money if I was in high school still,
Just think
Remember
with the
Kurt
Fab
Jones?
Five.
Generation.
Who?
Kurt Jones.
Kurt Jones in there, absolutely.
Just think what the Fab Five would have made if
Oh,
they
man.
had NIL.
Oh my God. Well, they did pretty well. I often wonder how well they're still doing. One of the problems we have with most of these professional athletes, and there's the research that reveals this, that most of them don't hold on to their money.
I think Chris Webber and Juwan are doing well.
What about Jalen?
Jalen's well.
Yeah.
As well.
Jimmy King, I think he has a business. He's in Texas along with Ray Jackson.
Yeah.
I keep in touch with Jimmy King some.
Okay. All right. So the ones you know do well. The ones that don't,
I just
you
know
don't.
I just know the Fab Five a little
Yeah, I
bit.
know Jalen too. You know, I mean, great work he's doing over there on an educational basis. Well, at any rate, we're gonna see forward down the field, a fighting team that will not yield. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Pull some of these so we can give out some movie tickets. Pull like 4 of them. Just give him sit it down. Give me one. Look at the last 3 digits. 105. 105. You gotta come get it. Keep going. I only call it 3. No, let go. Come. Keep pulling numbers. You only get 3 calls and it's all 132. Damn. 132. Now you ought to have your tickets out. I'm gonna call it one more time. 132. And knock it down with my own switch. We got 132. Man, you better take your wife. Put that back in there. Now, here's a guy on getting money trying to cheat. We filed a probate petition. 113.
Contact us at 313-224-5990. Email us at textinfo@wintime.com.
Now you can't watch no X-rated movies.
That's John P. Key feature.
118. That's commercial.
What you got coming up?
Yeah. That commercial is
I didn't know he was coming to town. John P. Key is
I
coming
got
to
you.
town.
118.
So this is what I need you to do.
118.
Right now. Mark your calendars for Saturday, October
118. Last time. Too late.
Presents Gospel legend John P. Key.
112.
Fellowship Chapel right here in Detroit. Doors open at 6. And guess what, y'all? I will be hosting it, and it is absolutely free. Yep, $3.99. Seats are limited though, so it's first come, first served basis.
127.
And I want you to lock your spot in now.
127.
I'll post that on my socials as well. Again, John P. Key, October 25th at Fellowship Chapel. Don't say I didn't tell you.
Now, who doing the shirts? Where's Joe at? Junior. Give her a shirt.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going straight down to Cobo after this. So Creator Con. It's a conference I'm speaking at. Yes, it is. Thank you kindly. Okay. Check.
Not here. I have to bring it next week. There you go.
This for y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call.
Boom! That's an explosion because we are explosive. Y'all make some noise in the house. All righty. Olivia, can you give us a few of our commercials?
Yes, we have Enzima coming up on December 10th with Florilla Strings. This will be at the Bridge Center Library, 9928 Grand River. Doors open at 6, and the show will be from 6. And you must RSVP on Event Noir. Help us make Christmas very merry on Saturday, December 20th.
Now, you all paying attention to this because you know, some of us struggle to buy toys for our kids. I mean, we're spending $25,000 on brand new toys. Amazon is donating 15,000 of it. Scan this code. In fact, while we're back up, Olivia, leave this up so people can scan it. Go ahead.
Okay. This will be Saturday, December 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And you can help getting free Christmas gifts for children.
All right, and let me do this. Make sure somebody scans this because they're passing out the wrong flyer. And if that's the wrong, does it come up? Somebody scan that, because if it says that it's, that it's done, then that's from last year. Huh? Okay, it's good. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Just leave that up for now. We'll go to the rest of it later on. All right. The Democrats had a tremendous turnout in the election this past November. Some historic. Yeah, give yourselves a big hand.
That's right.
One of the things that I would tell you that we did on this broadcast, and the work that my organizers do in this community, we got Denzel McCammell elected over Karen Whitsett. Upset with Whitsett, no Whitsett for me. And by a wide margin, Denzel won. And we also had some success in District 5 and some success with the mayor's race. Now we have another young lady. I'll let you introduce her, who's running for office as well.
Absolutely. So we have with us today Miss Amanda Treppa, and she is running for Michigan State Senate District 10 for 2026. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
What a brave woman to run for Senate. My God.
Thank you. I thought I was here for the sports updates, but I'm
well,
kidding.
You could have come and joined in.
Right, definitely.
So who are you picking tomorrow?
Oh, as far as the Michigan State Penn State game?
No, the Lions. That's
tomorrow.
today.
I was like, that's today. Oh, for the Lions?
So now you've already started off bad.
I was like, for Penn State, Michigan State, I was mad that we didn't pick
No, are you
Michigan
picking
State.
the Lions or the Eagles?
I'm picking the Lions.
Okay, well that's.
Why would you
No,
pick the
that's-
Eagles?
Politicians are
No
very
birds.
safe.
No birds.
Well,
no.
look, I mean, I like Philadelphia.
That's right. We want to have them for Thanksgiving dinner anyway.
Brandon, the
Put
number
that bird.
55. Brandon, number 55, the middle linebacker there. Brandon Little is related. It's Brandon Cunningham. I forget his last name. What's Brandon's last name? Anyway, he went to school with my kids at Lutheran West.
Oh, okay.
No, Detroit Urban Lutheran, and his aunt is, of course, Linda Little, who runs in there. So, all right, let's get down to it. You got a first
Yes,
question?
sir. Let's go.
Background. You want to
Sure.
know why you seek this seat as a senator for District 10? Tell us about your journey to this moment.
Sure. Biggest reason as to why I'm running is because I don't want people to go through the same cycles and systems that I went through my entire life that really set me back. Essentially, I think it's a really simple but really easy reason to understand. I was a foster kid. My mom and I lived on the street. She was a sex worker. And I was in and out of foster care until I was taken in and then adopted and grew up in Sterling Heights. And from there, had really great educators, did great in school, went to New York, did a lot of amazing work there. But I had a miscarriage and then a really hard pregnancy that made me look at how our whole system was set up the same way as how I started in foster care, and that it's all systemic. And if you want to fix that, you have to fix the laws and you have to fix policies. And the place you do that, legislature.
So I always say, and I've had a thing that's not my own about connecting the dots. When people come in here disgruntled and they're angry and they don't vote, I can tell them unequivocally that what they're dealing with can be traced to someone sitting in a seat that someone either voted for or did not vote for, right?
Correct.
And so that's so important for people to know. And it's also great to know that, you turned something that could have been, tragic into a triumph. What are some of the main policy issues or things that you see that are not working that you would address, and how?
Well, right away, anything that has to do with being able to just pay rent, has to do with being able to afford prescriptions or have coverage for prescriptions. I have to hunt down medicine for my daughter who has asthma, and being able to cut some of that red tape so people have better access. Education, special education in particular. She also has autism, and there's not great funding to be able to address all the disparities. One district all of a sudden has great physical therapists, occupational therapists, the other one doesn't, right? And then I really, obviously, based on my miscarriage and pregnancy and postpartum depression, want to address maternal health and how we support parents as a whole in this country, and being able to have leave if you have a miscarriage. What does it look like to have an extended leave for maternity leave, like up to 12 to 15 weeks, as some states have? Why don't we have that? Like, we absolutely should have that ability, right?
Absolutely.
You need time to recover. We need time to recover and make sure people are great and able to support their families mentally, physically, and also with mental health resources. That is very deep and personal to me. That affected my mom is no longer with us. She died of a fentanyl overdose and alcoholism, and that's coping mechanisms, as we know. And I myself, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and that's something I like to live out loud, especially in this
You
campaign.
say you
cycle.
are a
I
recovering?
am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of transparency in
Well,
your
Since we're on the
rhetoric,
subject,
yeah.
Yeah.
July 23rd of this year, I celebrate 38 years of sobriety one day at a time.
Well,
Hey.
I still make meetings. I still have a
Yes,
sponsor,
sir. Same.
and I still take it a day at a time.
well, I'm right behind you.
Yep.
See,
Are
you
you?
didn't know that.
No,
That's
you've
right.
never shared that.
Well,
Really?
you know what? Since we all, I
knew
can't tell
some. I knew
everything.
some of.
That's something we only say to each other
but
too.
I'm appreciating this candid
Transparency.
transparency because most people try to hide facts about their lives. You
Yeah.
coming
Yeah,
out front,
yeah.
so you know it won't be no surprise.
Well,
during
that's the best.
campaign or
That's the
whatever.
best thing to
That's
do
true.
if you're in public life. And in fact, we live in such a cancel culture. People just want to eliminate
Yeah.
people, and it's tragic. But I'm glad that you you mentioned that, because I do think, and the people that I know who are in recovery have a certain passion about life. Not only have they removed themselves from something that was self-destructive, right, but they also have the consideration for understanding that other people don't necessarily just choose to be where they are,
Correct.
struggle with it, right? And if they have the right help, can overcome it.
Well, that's it because you've been there, so it's not like you can't come back because you've already been there.
Yeah.
Some people go there and can't
It
come
works-
back because
it
they
works-
don't know they
it-
had the strength to come
It
back.
works if you work
it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So you're saying you don't have to be perfect to be a senator. You don't
No.
have to.
No.
You don't have to come from any lineage. You just have a willing spirit and some attention to detail, and that's where the table shifted for you. And you said, "I can do this. I can run for Senate."
I want to make a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. And basically I took the hint because God doesn't make mistakes. And when I was in postpartum depression, I no longer wanted to be here. And God did me a lot of favors and made sure that I stayed here. And I took the hint. And I think you do something with that, you give it back to the community that helped save me after,
Yeah.
helped lift me up. And then I took that to Detroit Action, where I work, and started studying
well.
policy even more and becoming the head of HR.
So we have this treasured earthen vessel, right?
That's
I mean,
it.
we
Yeah.
all have a thorn in our flesh, right?
Exactly.
Augustine said it best, who, by the way, was an African, a black man, who our theology, the city of God, comes from. Said all of us have our feet in clay. We're sinking all the time, but by the grace of God we stand.
Amen.
What I think people need to know and hear from you now is, where is that district? And give us
Yes.
some information about its boundaries, what characterizes it, and why you're best suited to represent it.
Yes, it's the new District 10 that came out of the redistricting that happened after the 2022 election cycle. There were 13 districts that had to be redistricted because a federal court found that the previous boundaries were really diluting Black communities from having proper representation. And they have now since shifted the district. The new District 10 is Oakland and Macomb County, which that's where I was born and raised, was Macomb County, but now I live in Oakland with my daughter, and I serve on a compensation commission in Royal Oak. And I like to say that Oakland and Macomb are kind of Hatfields and McCoys. They don't really get along the best, but
Yeah.
if you call both
Yeah.
of them home, there's a fluency and a passion and a love that I want to be able to bridge that gap and find a way to lift all of us up together.
I have a quick question on
Sure.
redistricting. So we're going through the redistricting shuffle right now, right?
Mhm.
And one state, has had a proposition that enables them to redistrict. Where do you see all this going? Because it looks to me as if everything that has been etched in stone is now in clay. I mean, just your take on what's happening across the country to increase partisanship.
Yeah.
And is that something that Michigan may face or have to consider?
I think so. I think we're just going to have to. People are fighting fire with fire. I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Right.
And everyone is in survival
Well,
mode.
I got that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm drawing the blank. What's the guy's name that's causing all this trouble for Trump? With
Gavin
Epstein.
Newsom.
huh?
Epstein.
Or-
Epstein.
Oh, the Epstein files.
So we need to fight fire with Epstein.
Yes, we fight fire with Epstein.
And for this Megyn Kelly to get on and say they weren't 8
She's
years
insane.
old.
She's
I mean,
insane.
what are you
goodness.
talking about? Anyway, go ahead.
No, as a parent, she makes me want to so sick to my
Yeah,
stomach. And I don't
yeah.
know how you have a daughter and say things like that. Like,
Yeah.
But no, I do think the redistricting, like we saw in California, I know they're trying to push back against that proposition.
We have a commission here, and they try to take it out of the hands. Speak to how this would be done, I guess, how you envision it,
Yeah.
or even just the need, and then we'll move on. I'm just curious.
So this is a nonpartisan, quote unquote, nonpartisan, I guess, as you can get, crew, a commission that went ahead and did this redistricting, but usually it's done like every 10 years by the legislature who redraws the lines. So
But is that mandatory, or is that just become practice? So in other words, the fact that we're not doing every 10 years, which was really based on census,
it's based on the census, right?
now we're doing something different based on who's in power.
Well, and it's based on a lawsuit.
Okay.
Right. And that's going to become the norm where everyone files a lawsuit every time after an election cycle. That's what we're looking at. So if people don't like that, Amanda Trump will win state Senate District 10, it's like, boom, they could throw down anything they wanted, or in city races, things like that. So I think that's what we're going to start to see a lot more of.
Unfortunately.
Sadly.
That's just people trying to hold on to power. Now, as you're part of Oakland County,
yes.
See, to me, Southfield is just the same as Detroit, the same physical makeup, and so what would you bring to the table, or would you coordinate your efforts with those districts that encompass Detroit?
That's a great question. So what I did my Detroit Action, actually meeting with the members, we talked about this, especially because so many folks and developers come out of Oakland County and come down to Detroit, right? And then they just seem to duck out after, and how we can look at those developers tax-wise, whatever way we can with how their workers, where they live, being able to actually keep them here within the city when they come in. But also, so I don't have Southfield, but I have Oak Park. I would have represent Oak Park right next to it. And they are very similar. But those communities need to have some TLC because they're often forgotten and left behind from the communities that definitely have more household incomes that are further north. So we have to address it the same way I think that Mayor-elect Sheffield has proposed a lot down here to a lot of the neighborhoods, to really giving it back to the neighborhoods and lifting them up first and foremost.
So let's talk about the race real quick. So the election is next August.
Yes.
That's a primarily Democratic area, which means when you win the primary, you all intents and purposes win the election.
Correct.
Is it an open seat?
It is.
And are there other folks trying to run for this seat? I mean, I don't see anybody out there but you. I mean, I think you've started very early, which you should.
Thanks.
You're visible. You're always posting stuff, people who endorse you. Although I didn't see my endorsement anywhere, but
well, you didn't give me your endorsement.
No,
yet.
I've told you. If I wrote you a check, I endorse you. Okay, I ain't writing checks for folks that I ain't for. Okay?
Well, just talk to Chantel.
You could feel generous.
You know, and my endorsement means something now because
does.
my daughter was on MSNBC. And the last question she was asked, well, your dad has endorsed so-and-so. Are you endorsing? And we were very clear.
Yeah.
I had breakfast with a few people on our transition team, and it was really funny. Ike questioning me about this and that. I said, let me tell you something, man. I'm a grown freaking man. And what my daughter does, she can do. But I'm not finding some cave to move into. And if she endorses somebody different, that's her right to do so. Yeah. But I can't check with her and do I use 2-ply, 4-ply? That's not happening. But
he sounds still dad.
but here's the thing. When you're a mayor, and Ike would know this because he worked in the arts administration, the people that you endorse because you think they will facilitate the things you need to happen at that level.
Right.
When I endorse people, it's based on folks who I need to help us on this level.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I serve. That's why I supported Denzel McCampbell, right?
That's my guy, yeah.
Because Denzel had been with us, he'd worked with us, etc. So anyway, having said all of that, just give us your sense of the lay of the land. What is your path to victory? Who do you have to get on your side and all of that?
As far as getting on my side, listen.
By the way, have you worked with the Macomb County clergy group out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been very.
We've got some wonderful Macomb County commissioner in the room right now, Mr. Michael Howard, who's a pastor himself.
Where'd he go?
He's right over there.
Oh, there we go. Okay, wonderful. How about that? And he's got on red though.
He's got red. He's got red sides.
You got to get some red.
One is purple.
Well, it's either red or blue, right?
But he's been great, and he came out early, right away.
He came out early.
Yeah, right away to support.
You mean he
us.
endorsed you early?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you got to be careful with words now.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to ask another question. You
Sure.
mentioned that some of these communities really need a little more TLC,
Mhm.
and I love that term because as a woman, as a millennial, as someone who has seen a lot of change, TLC isn't exactly at the top of most people's priority. It sounds like a hug. What
Yeah.
does that look like physically for you? Like, what are your actual what are the campaign promises that you're running on?
Campaign promise, particularly, I call it like a beltway. There's a lot of cities in the district, say Oak Park, Royal Oak Township, Centerline, Hazel Park, who are right on the cusp of being able to have more people come live there, come work, but they need things like funding for more infrastructure because we have flooding that's out of control to where it's hurting your houses. You got insurance rates, your cars, right? It affects everything across the board. So like, why would I go live there if my car is going to get and my house is going to get messed up every time I get there, right? And we also need better ways to afford housing there so that people have like tax literacy if they do want to buy, or better ways to, if you live in Oakland County or something like that, be able to say, I've lived here 3 years. I should be able to buy here at this point and have more than, like, we have $5,000 right now to help with closing costs, but we can do better than that.
Yeah.
Sure can.
So one of my issues relates to insurance because I've witnessed this. Gentleman who facilitated me going to treatment 38 years ago had a company that he was servicing close, had injured individuals, folks who had addictions, and PIP monies were being made available for long-term care.
Mhm.
We've had this insurance reform, and I've supported the mayor many times. That was not one. I don't think anybody should limit their PIP to $250,000 simply to have a nominal reduction of insurance premiums. But insurance is still an issue. It's an issue, number one, when you pay for full coverage, getting insurance companies to provide it, them for it. But what is your whole take on this whole PIP reform and getting in return for our premiums, the benefits we thought we were going to have? The whole issue of insurance.
The whole issue of insurance also comes down to we were talking about lawsuits. There's a lot of lawsuits that have been put down and they take, I don't know, sometimes 4 to 7 years, and they keep making the entire regulation go up and down, up and down, up and down, which is why the insurance companies also respond going up and down, up and down.
But
and we need to find a way.
But here's the thing: when you're sitting on $9 to $13 billion in the catastrophic fund,
yes,
that if you have 5 cars, you're paying 5 times that PIP amount. And they keep looking at that money, not wanting to give it back to the insured, but give it to the insurers. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and I think people need to be more aware of it. This is one of the major issues for me. But
it's the out of touch thing that we talk about and the disconnect, right? And it's the whole, I'm going to fly on my private jet or go to Turks and Caicos for my vacation. Like, I don't know why you can't go to Disney World for your vacation instead. I mean, it's good enough for the rest of us, or I went camping a lot. It's being able to scale back from the top down. Attitude reflects leadership. That's how it goes. And having a way to be connected again to the people who are actually insuring, but it's holding them accountable in those ways. And you can do that legislatively. Okay. In order to be able to
is insurance a big issue for you? Because
it is.
When my daughter was running against Jewel Ware, there were 38,000 new residents in District 5, Midtown and places that had moved in. Of the 38,000, only 12,000 had actually subscribed for insurance as Detroit residents.
Wow.
So they moved into Detroit, and my daughter was like, I said that's where you understand that people want to be here, but the cost
is too
is
high.
so high, right? Yeah. That these people would, move in, but then maintain an address somewhere, which, by the way, insurance companies, that's one of the first things to do. If you have an accident, they will investigate whether or not you literally live where you had on that policy. So insurance is a big issue. Where are you with number 2? That was my number 1.
Number 2. Sorry, what was number 2?
Well, whatever yours are. I mean,
I got a number 2.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
What about senior citizens? Because those are the ones most likely to vote and whatnot. And what can be done to make your district attractive to senior citizens?
Senior citizens are a big part of the population, particularly in like the North Oakland area of the part of the district. But as far as like healthcare, is top of priority for all the senior citizens and making sure they keep their Medicaid, Medicare intact and that they're covered for everything as we see it being slashed right now. But also, I really want to champion respite care and caregivers access and being able to have that funded so that people feel, and this goes for spouses or family members, that they are able to afford to take time for themselves and care for their loved ones and be able to stay in their homes as opposed to have to be in a senior living facility center. Sometimes it's great, but sometimes people just really want to stay home.
So you know what's interesting to me, and you know, I don't know who else has been affected, but you know that Social Security overcharged people for supplemental health insurance. Are you aware of that? I'm getting a $5,800 refund.
Well, I need to find out about that because
and the average refund for people, you know, I'm sure Ike is in that category. It's, you know, when I have United here, I have supplemental, I have, you know, everything, which I was going to change anyway because my costs had gotten up to like $700 a month over and above my Medicare, you know, premium. And so the government, I guess, made a huge mistake. I can't imagine how much money they made a mistake on. Anybody here getting a refund? I mean, I just sent letters out this week. Yeah, mine, and they say mine is coming when I get my payment.
Did you have to apply for
and
it?
Then, and then, no, it's automatic. Then I'm going from like $600 and some dollars a month to $88 a month.
That's a huge wow.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking is because I'm covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I'm covered. I got insurance.
No,
too.
but I'm saying, but they're taking out.
They take it out of mine. It's the whole point I'm trying to make is the calculations they made on supplemental costs for your insurance was wrong. You need to contact if you didn't get a letter, because it's all across the news that the average person was charged over $5,000 over and above what their premium should be. I got the letter on my desk. And I put it on my altar. Said, "Oh my God, the Lord giveth. Hopefully, the Lord won't take away."
Amen. You know what, Ms. Trevor, I want to say we
Yes,
do
love.
have a really unique senior population. We are on the backs of the Motor City. These are the people who were in the factories before there was air conditioning. They certainly deserve the top care possible in our city. So I will definitely appreciate what you're saying about that. Even these conversations, it's like they have money coming back. Hold on, let me call my mom.
Let me call myself.
I'm stepping with Trepper. Amanda Trepper, the candidate for Michigan Senate in District number 10. We'll be right back after this. We're going to talk to the chief, though, Chief.
Hey, thank you.
All right, we got to pull for some movie passes. Give me 3 or 4 of them. There you go. Hold on. 114. 114. I don't separate them. I got them there, so you don't separate them. You tear them apart. 114. 110. 110. 110. If they tell it, they need to come up here and get them. Let's go. Here you go. 123. All right, let's make some noise. Come on, Olivia, run us through our announcements real quick. Okay, we're live.
Okay, for our community entertainment series, we'll have Don DC Curry at the Bridge Center on January 14th at 7 p.m. Um, the address is 9928 Grand River. There'll be free parking, free food, and health screenings.
And you can go to our website, dabledetroit.com/events to register. Next.
Our next event will be the Stylistics.
You make me feel brand new. Yeah. That's the real stylistics.
The real stylistics,
That's the people. And man, all this stuff is free. So you need to go because I have all these people who register and don't come. So now we have a system by which, we go through this. You've registered for 4 events. You've not come to any. We block you. Because we get 800 folks to respond and only 250 people show up.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not fair to people who really want to come. Okay, next. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, let's the chief is here.
The chief is here.
Chief.
Dr. Isaiah Ike McKinnon, former Detroit deputy mayor and chief of police, actually happened to serve with him in the Archer administration. Spent 8 years there, and I believe you have a new book out, right?
No, it's an old book. Actually, I have 3 of them out.
Excuse me.
No.
Which book?
It's called Stand Tall.
Move that mic a little closer to him. There you go.
Okay, it's called Stand Tall.
Stand Tall.
And there's 2 others, but
before we get to that, you were a part of the committee that led to my daughter's election.
Kitchen cabinet.
Just to get your
kitchen cabinet. We had some great people, and obviously we did a great job. We get 70% or
78%.
Oh Lord! See,
in fact, I have a video that was just produced that I had a team embedded with us, and my daughter didn't want to know the number. She didn't want to know anything until it was announced, which her grandmother told her. But what I was able to tell her, if you look at the video, is that not only had she won, but she had won by the largest margin ever in the history of a mayoral race. And one more question on that, because if you look at the data, she won that margin among everybody. Whites, blacks, rich, poor,
young, old,
yes,
everybody. And that's really good.
It is.
It shows that she.
So Ed used to be a part of that group that was, not allowed to perform. They were effing the police.
Yeah,
but he's been converted now.
Look here,
they had him on Livernore's at Grand Rivers at handcuffed, and I went over and I was a friend to the police. That was my F the police, friend to police.
I come from the generation of it's the big foe. Choom, 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 choom. Everybody's a different direction.
Yeah, now see, let me tell you, that's what caused me to become a police officer. When I was 14 years old at Garfield Junior High School, I left the school and the big four pulled me over and beat the heck out of me. I mean, and I made a decision that evening. I was going to become a police officer. Never thought I'd reach the level that I did, but Rotation Slim, Rotation Slim was the guy who he had this thing about beating up people.
Yeah. What about Perry? Was a part of Stress, and the folks he killed finally got busted because they found his cat hairs in a knife of a guy he planted it on that he shot at Fisher and Woodward.
Oh yeah.
But now, see, I'm old enough to remember the Big Four, and they rode around that black Plymouth Fury with the guns in the back window. And back then, tell me why it was different. Back then, they would whip you and send you home. I mean, I remember them, instead of home.
Right.
I asked guys as I got on the department, ask them, they wanted to make sure they maintain a level over you that you could not step and say, I'm a man. Right. You shouldn't do this stuff to me. I saw them as a young kid.
Say that again. That was powerful.
Oh, no, really. They don't want you to say that you're a man.
Right.
And when I joined the police department in 65, the same attitude was there. In fact, in 1967, before the rebellion, I ran into Rotation Slim in a restaurant, and I said to him, you know, you did something to me a number of years ago that changed my life. He didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to give him the courtesy of saying what it was.
Yeah.
But who would have thought I would become chief of police or Dr. McKinnon or professor? But their position was to demean you as much as possible, to make you think that you were not a man or a human being.
So can I tell you a true story?
Sure.
So in 1971, when there were race riots at high schools, Arthur Johnson's daughter was my girlfriend, Angela. And I got a call to come out to Henry Ford because she was trapped and couldn't get out. So I put a few of my friends, Derek Brown, who became a very successful real estate broker, in my car. And we drove out on Plainview to try to pick her up. We were surrounded by police. Police told us to get out, run so we could shoot. You had guns at our heads. One of them's name was Sergeant Kemp, who wound up becoming the head of the DPOA.
Yes.
Okay? 6 miles, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the morning, my father came and picked us all up. But Cephas Johnson and Dwight Hudson, who became my brother-in-law, called my father, got his number from somebody, because they said they had picked us up trying to break into a house on Plainview at 2 in the morning when we had been picked up out inside of Henry Ford High School. But it was a powerful story, you know, and my dad always said, man, you know, this is what happens to folks who don't know people, you know, and if it had not been for Cephas Johnson and my brother-in-law who's dead, who took the time to find my dad and said in front of the people that that's not what happened. They were booked in here at 2 o'clock from Henry Ford High School. My whole life would have changed.
Wow. Your dad came to the police academy when I was there at 65. Him and there's another council person, and they talked to all the police officers. There were 67 of us, 7 blacks. And they talked to the police, said, this is the way you should maintain yourself. This is the way you should treat people. And you could see some of the guys sitting in the class with their heads down. And I'll never forget this one officer, he walked out and he said, they talked all that BS, you know, that civil rights BS. Well, of course, he lasted about 6 months on the job, but that's it. That was the attitude.
Well, I know the history, so you got to read B.J. Whittick's book.
Oh yeah,
History of Race and Class Violence. My dad did the forward.
Oh yeah.
When Charles Bowles, who was the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, got elected, the city of Detroit literally took out ads in Southern papers recruiting Klansmen to be officers in the Detroit Detroit Police Department to disparage the growth of the black population. But thank God there are people like you and others. Reggie Turner was my brother-in-law.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And a lot of these people too young to remember what Detroit was like.
There's a history that everybody should know. I know there are people trying to take history away, but this is reality, what we faced.
Right.
I mean, I was shot at multiple times and so forth, stabbed and so forth, but I lived through all these things.
Ives Ed was one of the original of the Guardians. I mean, the stories.
Yeah.
Well, he was there during the civil disturbance and what happened to him. They wouldn't let him out of the precinct and all kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's an impressive landscape right there. And I noticed you also are a veteran.
Oh,
On top
yes.
of all of this, you went into the police force at 1965. But when did you have time to be in the Air Force? What happened?
Well, when I graduated from high school in 61, and I went to the Air Force because, number one, it was difficult to get in college. We didn't have any money. Number two, I knew that this is a step for something I wanted to do to get into the police department. And it's amazing how all those things happened. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's a quick question. So it's easier if you come from the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, you got to be mindful of the people that you recruit into the police department because you might get a guy who
garbage in, garbage out.
Lord,
So I said, here's something that I know for a fact, and I've done the research on this because the former Minneapolis mayor put something in place to screen this. A lot of our current officers have been in military venues, Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom, and they have PTSD.
Absolutely.
And so they're responding to citizens based on being in some combative environment as opposed to a collaborative one, right?
Reb, that's why I wrote an op-ed on making sure we don't have certain people in the military coming to our neighborhoods.
Right.
We were trained in the academy supposedly how to handle people. These guys, they come, they don't do this
They're
kind
looking
of
for guerrillas
It's not the same.
and
It's not the
people
same.
that could be an ambush. Ms. Trepper, you wanna join us?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, that was a really great question so far as like the PTSD. And how did you, I feel like, did you overcome anything of like that sort?
When I came from Vietnam
Yeah.
in '65, I came from Vietnam to California to Detroit. That was it. There was nobody who said, listen, there might be this, it might be that, and so forth. They did not re-educate you in terms of things that you should do and look for. And thank God I had a good, strong foundation before that told me these are things you have to do. And first, my father, like your dad, you know, they made a difference in your life.
Self-advocation. You
Oh,
have
absolutely.
you have the attitude to advocate for yourself. And in this case, we're talking about disproportionate number of Black veterans in prison and poisoned by Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So there's a whole
Oh.
conundrum of that. And I'd like to know more. What actually is Agent Orange?
Agent Orange is a herbicide that was sprayed in Vietnam and various locations and other places in the world. And they were supposed to keep the Viet Cong from coming into our areas that we were in. Now, let me say this. I'm really glad we're talking about this because we have like 170,000 veterans, Vietnam veterans in Michigan. And they were
Special people.
They were
Very
close
special
to
people.
There were close to 3 million people that served in Vietnam, like myself, but they did not tell us what they were doing. And let me go in further with this.
So in other words, you didn't know that you were being exposed to
No. I mean, the stuff that you ate, you walked on the grass, especially the guys in the jungle. I was in the jungle a few times. All those things were there, and nobody told you. And so now, I mean, the history of this for me, I got sick a few times. I had horrible headaches. So I never drank. And I mean, all of a sudden I get kidney cancer twice.
Come on, kidney cancer survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's still here.
And but they didn't tell us, And so the good thing for me, I was on this board, and a general, a retired general, she was also a nurse. She said, you look like you. I said, yeah, this. She said, were you in the military? I said, yeah. She said, were you in Vietnam? I said, yeah. She said, oh my Lord, Agent Orange. And let me give you, I have a list here. Agent Orange causes cancer, leukemia. Now, I want everybody to understand this. This is important because if you have relatives.
And by the way, the point of all of this is that there are benefits for this.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I had a gentleman working here for years. We do some veteran stuff who had never accessed his veterans benefits 20 years after being in the service. So this is a big issue. There are ways that you can be helped. And this is one particular area that you want people to be aware
Absolutely. And it doesn't start right away.
Right.
Here I was in the 70s
Right.
when it started with me. But cancer, leukemia, diabetes, hypertension, Parkinson, let's see, spina bifida, respiratory problems, heart disease, skin disease, all these things come as a result of Agent Orange. Now, the government doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
They will not tell you. But the reality is that if you have relatives, friends, anybody, there's 3 people that were close to me who died. You remember Rudy Thomas?
Oh, yes.
Rudy passed away, but he had multiple cancers throughout his body.
Right.
And others. There's so many people. If you know anybody who has some of these diseases or problems, and they were in Vietnam, it's not just Vietnam, it's also other places.
Does it go back to the Korean War?
Well, no.
Okay.
This is you're talking about Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and certain parts of Korea. If you rode in a plane where they had this stuff, if you were in Vietnam for one day, that's how toxic this stuff was.
Wow.
I didn't know this. I mean, thank God there's this person.
And let's just bring this. Hold on a sec. Let's bring this all the way home. Vietnam was a war primarily fought by Black veterans.
That's true.
Go read Dr. King's book, Trumpet of Consciousness.
Yes.
And the vast majority of folks that died out of the 58,000 were Black people.
Yeah.
They were put on the front lines. They would have been exposed to this more than other folks who were part of, say, the strategic implementation of war plans. So you're here to tell us that people should get checked out, right?
Absolutely.
They go to the VA, call the VA. Oh,
but let me tell you the other part of that too. As the general told me, she says, Ike, they're going to lie to you. They're going to send you, like for instance, they sent me to various locations in the state of Michigan to be checked out, where I could have done it in Detroit. And so, of course, I could drive and so forth. But what about those veterans who don't have transportation? Don't have transportation, and on and on. I mean, I drove for hours to go to places to be checked out, and then they said, "Well, maybe you got it." For instance, Rudy Thomas, who you knew, Rudy had various cancers throughout his body. And now they said they told his wife Anna, who's listening right now. They said, "Well, your husband wasn't in Vietnam. Rudy was a tunnel rat. You know what a tunnel rat, right?
Yes.
That were those guys who went through the tunnels, and so there's a Vietnam vet over there. But that's what they did. But they said, well, we can't find his record. DD 214. Anybody? The DD 214 is a record of everything you've done in the military. Get them to get that for you." They're denying it. The general told me they will deny.
And this is really mind-boggling. And I mean, I love my country. People have taken me to task when I say it's Uncle Sam ain't in my family. I mean, it's a crime that people would sacrifice. I just got a video. I think I may have sent it to you that they did on Election Day, and I go by Nazareth Lutheran Church where my mother's funeral was. And I talk about George Dorsey Jr.
Yes.
Who, when I was 14 years of age, came back from Vietnam. The only son, they had 6 sisters. I mean, prominent family in that church, and how that wrecked that congregation and how it affected me, seeing this young man who was only 18 years of age killed in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And so that's the worst part of it. But there's also this.
Let me give you another example. There's a lady by the name of Lori Weber. I made a speech last month at the Detroit Historical Museum. She came up, has spina bifida. What people don't know is not only is it to you, but it's to your offsprings.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And see, the government and the Veterans Administration, they're going to lie to you and say you don't have.
But will the Veterans Administration also take responsibility for the children, or do they have to go through their private?
They're supposed to go through. It took her 10 years.
Okay.
You see, but they gotta keep holding and holding.
Yeah.
I've been doing this now for about 6 years.
Okay.
The general who told me, she says, Ike, they're gonna do everything they can to deny that you have this. And that's exactly what's happened with Rudy Thomas. You know, they're denying that Rudy was in Vietnam.
Yes.
The government of Vietnam gave Rudy a special award for his service.
Yeah.
And wait a minute.
They denied it till he died.
And Anna said, his wife Anna said, wait a minute, how can he receive an award from Vietnam?
Never been there.
And never been there.
Well, we have a new. I'll say this is the opinion of the host and not of anyone on the panel. We had Agent Orange in Vietnam. Now we got Agent Orange in the White House.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Somebody put 2 points on the board.
No, I have a personal connection with this, because my father did a tour in Korea and 2 tours in Vietnam.
Ooh.
Now, when you talk about the exposure to Agent Orange, he was a supply sergeant.
But if you're in Vietnam, if you were anywhere in Vietnam, because whether it's the herbicide that was sprayed in the grass, the things that you ate, the water that you drank, it's in all that stuff.
Everything was contaminated.
So the point I'm
trying to say, and make that point again, if you were exposed to it for how long? An hour?
Not even.
Just there.
Just
there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my father, that was his complaint, was that it was Agent Orange, and he was denied. He's deceased now, but is there any kind of way that could be corrected?
Because
is there any post-death compensation?
Yes, there is. I'm giving you the number to call. This again, please take this number. It's 800-693-4800. And that's the general who made me aware of it. 800-693-4800. Legal help prevention.
And so if you hear, be real clear, if you are a survivor yourself,
yes,
and you've never really run this down, you ought to call. If you're a family member of someone who you suspect was exposed, even though that person may not have discovered it in time and they died, you can also call this number and find out if there's any relief.
Reverend, my family, I was over. My nephew was over. He got killed there. My brother-in-law, Agent Orange, killed him sometime later. His son is listening right through. But there's so many people.
Well,
like
you know,
this.
I'm interested because my brother-in-law, Dwight Hudson, who was the deputy chief, was in Vietnam.
Yes.
And he had multiple cancers at the end of his life. I was with him a week before he died. I mean, and it's really interesting you bring this up, because he said to me he wondered whether his tour in Vietnam had anything to do with this.
Absolutely.
And it's, what's really interesting to me that people don't connect the severity of Agent Orange with their tenure in Vietnam.
Absolutely. And now let's take this even further. There's 100 million people that live in Vietnam. 100 million people. What about them?
Right.
I think they want to deny everything because now they're going to have to take care of them
as
Absolutely.
well.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I could not believe the things that they had told me, and I'm doing research in this. Let's see, the Cleveland Clinic is done all this research into Agent Orange and what should be done.
Right.
But here, I never smoke, I never drank, all this kind of stuff. Here I'm coming with kidney cancer.
Right.
So
what other quick question? I don't have a quick, but I want to tie by the questions if I can, because you're running for the state senate. What role or responsibility does the state government have for its citizens who are here who may have had this exposure? How should they be helping?
Well, it's what you were talking about with sending you to like how many places that you went. It's cutting the red tape and actually being, again, transparent about that where places you can go, actually acknowledging and putting that mandate in place to be able to serve our veterans properly, at least on a state level, and then partnering with those on the federal level where those benefits come down and we're able to actually help them on the other side. But they have to acknowledge it and be able to cut the red tape so you're not going around to so many places.
Okay.
Yeah, but here's what he's saying though, which is an abomination to our nation.
Yes.
That people will serve and then there's a securitist path here to securing benefits that they know they expose you to in the first freaking damn
you
place.
should tell somebody, look,
Excuse me, hold up a second.
I know.
Langston Hughes was a friend of my dad's.
Okay.
And right down at 8670 Grand River, he uttered a poem, and I never forgot. America, America,
America,
land of the free, home of the brave. America, be America, because God knows America has never been America to me. And then they wonder why we feel this way. And this is ain't black folks.
No.
These are people who made the ultimate sacrifice,
Exactly.
Either drafted or enlisted, and then have to be told by a third party that maybe what you're going through is related to something that the government exposed you to.
Reb, that's exactly it. I mean, we should have been told, look, they knew that this herbicide was dangerous, but they used it anyway. We want to kill the grass and all those things, so the Viet Cong will not bother us. However, what are you doing?
Now we have a guy here. We've been wondering. We've been wondering why he's so crazy, but now we know he's been exposed to Agent Orange. Come on, man. Time is money.
I was exposed to bombs. Agent Orange, you go through the jungle. You can't help but brush into it.
Yeah, but have you been checked out? Is what we more.
I'm good. They take care of me for life.
Okay, so have you had some
pension
exposure from
to
Agent
nothing.
Orange?
Exposure to war. That's all.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking you. Have there been anything that has happened to you as a result of your exposure to Agent Orange?
No.
Okay, all right, fine. Then,
But you don't know that yet.
I removed.
I was going to say, or do you not know?
You might not know.
You don't know that
Then
yet.
you need to go get
Same
tested.
age. We 70. He got exposed to whatever. What was it?
I got exposed to crazy people. That's the problem. Main problem I got.
End of story.
Among whom you were chief.
I wanted to ask a question though. We were talking about like PTSD earlier and things like that, right? And there was approximately 200,000 veterans in prison, and most of them are Black.
Yeah.
And we talk about how the system is not built for us, and we get shut out all the time as Black individuals in this country. What role do you believe that is playing, like how we treat PTSD, especially among veterans? That do you think that really contributes to how many are incarcerated right now?
Look at this. You're in a war.
Yeah.
You are either killing somebody, somebody's trying to kill you. And you see all this death. I have a friend who every person who got killed, he had to sign those slips. It really screwed his mind up. So now when you come back to this country as I did, you say, look, my life should be better than what I went through in that 366 days I was in Vietnam. But it doesn't, they don't do that. So we had Sergeant Dwight Johnson, I don't know if you remember, he won the Medal of Honor in Vietnam. He was a great young man. He was a picture of what you would think a soldier would be. He came over here back home, and they did nothing for him. I remember meeting him in Kavanaugh's office. Anyway, he he couldn't get a job, family and so forth. And he went to I think it was a gas station and tried to rob the gas station. And they killed him. They killed him. But there was nothing that was done. There's nothing that's being done literally for the people that are coming back, wherever it might be. The PTSD is one of the most devastating things.
It is. And so let's look at this. And I don't know if I brought this up about the police department, but I'm going to reiterate it again. Sure. So if Ariana Grande, right, and this whole thing that happened to her on the runway,
yes,
they bring up her PTSD from what happened in a previous concert, right? So I've had this opportunity under Chief Craig, of course, Chief White, who's now over at Detroit Wayne, is really involved, and I thought did more than anybody in this area. And it was really brought to light by the Minneapolis mayor, who said, we don't understand that the vast majority of police officers now on streets in Detroit, streets across the country, have come from these enemy combative guerrilla warfare venues, Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom, right? And they don't have the same kind of community engagement. They see everybody as a potential threat to their life. How do we address that? I mean, is treatment of PTSD the way, or are we screening people better to find out whether or not they've been so affected that their impact is too great and severe for them to be on the streets?
Rob, there has to be a concerted effort by the cities that hire people, by the whomever it might be, to say, look, let's check people out. You know, when you have a person who takes a job as a police officer, whatever it might be, what kind of a background check do you do on them? You know, we take people and not do those kinds of checks. Were you in Vietnam? Were you in the Middle East and so forth? And what did you do? How many people did you kill? How many people shot at you? All those things should be asked.
Have you had any subsequent counseling?
Yeah.
Or,
as I said, I mean, I was not.
Have you been diagnosed?
Have you been diagnosed? Yeah. Think about these kinds of things. Those are important things. Like you said, starting in 43, the Detroit hired so many people from the South. Well, they had their
own issues.
Absolutely. But in the 60s, when we started hiring, when I came on in 65, I think we had 5,000 police officers on the department. I think less than 100 were Black. And those guys who came and had their preconceptions of Black people and continued to act a certain way. Yeah. The same thing that happens with people who came from Vietnam.
So I'm going to take the final privilege. I've been trying to figure out his name. I think his first name was Levi, that ran the youth division over on Grand River and 12th.
Levi and I played basketball together.
Yeah, was it Johnson or what? Jackson?
Oh, God. See,
okay, well, let me tell you, this is true story. I was 10 years old. Yeah. I stole some candy on Burlingame and Linwood from a store. And my dad took me over to that castle-looking building, which was the youth division.
Yes.
And this guy locked me up. And I'm crying, and he's telling my dad, nah, he ain't gonna be no different. Leave him here with me. You know, I must have been in there 4 hours. 4 hours, you know. And then my dad comes back and they're having this conversation, and my dad says, well, I think he learned his lesson. I said, no, he's staying the night. No, Dad.
Scared straight.
He goes and opens the door. He said, young man, let me tell you something. You better be glad your daddy brought you here, because if someone else had caught you, this is where you'd be.
That's right. Yeah.
But anyway, that's just a great story. I always try to remember what his name was. His son wound up driving a motorcycle for, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yes.
That was his division. And, you know, we're glad that we have those kind of African-Americans on the police department who, Ives Edwards, who works here, by the way, and others like him. Mackie John was part of the founding of this organization.
The Guardians.
Yeah.
The Guardians. So, but, you know,
we got one minute.
Okay, there's so many things that we have to do, but I really appreciate the fact that we're talking about this, because nobody's talked about this. I mean,
it's a big conversation.
That's right. And the people that's dying, the people that have these serious diseases, and they don't know where they came from.
Yeah. So dial 1-800-693-4800. 800-693-4800. You've been through much, but you might get paid and be better after all. We'll be right back. This going to talk about from slavery to freedom. Not James Hope Franklin, but something close to that right after this. I don't have them yet. I didn't. Do that, would you, man? All right, we're gonna pull for the Imagine movie theater. Give me 4 of them. 131, 130. All right, we're back in living color. Make some noise. And we've had a great show so far, and want you to sign up. Can you make Christmas Merry up there and leave it? No, we have a clip first, right, Gerald? Yes. Let's watch the clip. Our guest is Dr. Nora Duncan, professor, musician, former Wayne State Music Department chair, composer of the cantata Journey from Slavery to Freedom. I thought about John Hope Franklin. I'm a historian by trade. Was just at Fisk, where his library and everything is named after him. And all right, here we go.
And that's what I found absolutely amazing.
Turn it up, please.
I told Jesus it would be all right if
people need to hear the story. In this political climate,
Jesus it would be all right.
I believe that by hearing the story, people are reminded of the adversities, inhumanity, inhumanness of man or woman against man or woman. And the lesson should be that they will never do this again. Because otherwise, this might happen again. Plain and simple. Because what people haven't suffered, that's the common denominator of people. People have suffered. And people have overcome their suffering. And some of them have survived their suffering through the songs, the folk songs that they've created. And some of these folk songs have found their ways into our concert halls, which is what's going to happen, hopefully, with.
Yeah, that's powerful. You know, couple of thoughts. Obviously, as a pastor, you know, how should we sing the Lord's songs
In the foreign land.
in the strange land? Yeah. They hung their harps. But my father had a program called In Freedom's Cause from the 50s all the way to the time that Dr. King was assassinated. And that show opened an old freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, go home, right? And so I grew up, my great grandmother, Maddie, we had Maddie B, Maddie C, you know, 112 years of age, died in 1962, my grandfather's mother, my father's grandmother. And she would hum these old songs, many of which, if I had a recording, I wish I had, because these were, you know, you can't find them anywhere. But anyway, that's part of the spiritual culture of our survival, right? Is that exactly. Where that is how we endured and eventually even overcame what we were forced to suffer.
Exactly. The problem today is that the story is not being told. Mm-hmm. It's not being passed down to our children, our grandchildren. I'm realizing that. In fact, I was at a university yesterday and I asked the students, what is a spiritual? Mm. No one was able to answer the question. Wow. There are about 100 students there. Mm-hmm. And we have lost the idea of passing down our culture from generation to generation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing because I grew up in Tabernacle. Mm-hmm. The Tabernacle today wasn't a Tabernacle there because all the folks who were there were a generation removed. I mean, mm-hmm. right on the cusp of the end of slavery. And some of those you know, songs that they sang that were common meter had such great spiritual significance to them, you know, Steal Away. I can mention a lot of them. I had the occasion to go to Union Seminary, so I studied under James Forbes and, of course, Cornel West and others. Well, we got a lot more exegesis of those texts. I mean, I knew what they meant to the folks who I sat in church with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But to really understand, in some instances, the signals they were sending, and, you know, the messages. But anyway, you have a question? I mean, this is right up my alley.
The fact that the college students, I won't call them children, did not know what a spiritual was is surprising to me, especially in a city like Detroit. We are the Mecca. We are soulful here, and you've served in several capacities on high levels. I want to know more about your journey in music.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting, it began in my home with my mother, who was a musician and sang spirituals to me and my 6 siblings. And she studied at Wayne State with Celeste Cole, who was a professor of voice there and outstanding African-American artist. And then what happened is that as a child, I thought maybe I could be a musician. I aspired to do that, but given our economic background, we couldn't afford to give me lessons. Yeah. So eventually it wasn't until I was about 14 that I actually began to study alone on my own as self-taught musician.
What was your instrument of choice that you studied on?
Well, actually, it was an accordion.
Accordion?
Wow.
Okay.
It was you don't look like a poker man to me.
At all.
Well, I don't know if you remember the Afro Armadas, Reverend, but I was a member of the Afro Armadas, which was a R&B group, and I played accordion for it.
Wow. You played accordion for an R&B group? R&B group. You have done it all. I can't.
Okay. I'm outdone.
You know, you have to really indulge me because I'm having a moment, and people have heard this. My great grandmother had been a slave. She was 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And our Friday nights and Saturday nights on Hazelette, not far from Tabernacle, was carving dead skin off their feet. Wow. Because they walked barefoot, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my great grandmother, when I laughed, because my sisters always thought it was strange, she said, "Hush your mouth, boy, the history of Negroes, they etched on these toes." But there are 2 songs, and I won't sing them both, but there's one that I love to the day, you know. I have a mind to live for Jesus all of my days. you know, and she get in the kitchen with that rag on her head. I've got a mind to live for Jesus.
And how do you not feel
all my days?
You know,
you can't stop me. You might as well join me. Yeah.
Mm.
And then and this without any music, and this, you know, you better run to the, I mean, anyway, I think it's lost. It's my point.
Sure. How many?
I think it's lost because my church over here now, my people know it because I sing it, but they don't really know this stuff. They really don't know this stuff.
You found a way to put soul in a I'm still blown back by with an accordion, and so therefore a real Detroiter put it in anything.
When soul meets anything, it takes on another dimension.
Now let's talk about 1987 when Pope John Paul the 11th, the second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the famous John Paul.
So and that's a
who
whole
came down Harlem. I was asked to associate pastor at Shiloh Baptist Church, and he got out of his Pope mobile and walked among black folks and blessed people and shook hands. I was 3 feet from him. Unbelievable.
Tremendous.
I ain't never been a fan of the Catholic Church, but I was moved that day.
And speaking of, I went to Catholic high school. It's a different type of I went to Benedictine. It was a different type of situation. We said, how did you put soul into that experience?
Can we also ask him to interpose? Because I mentioned the famous book by John Hope Franklin. Is there any correlation between From Slavery to Freedom and that treatise or no?
I think there is somewhat, but it's done, through music, basically. And so I begin with like the spiritual Go Down Moses and progress all the way up to one that you quoted, Reverend, Oh Freedom, which is at the end. What's kind of unique about this composition is that it's set to orchestra.
Oh, wow.
It's a chamber orchestra. And with 3 soloists
and
the
you
chorus.
Recorded this,
Well, it's going to be recorded tomorrow when it's going to be performed out in Clinton Township.
Are tickets available for that?
Tickets are still available. You can get them from the box office out at the Macomb Center for the Performing Arts in Clinton Township.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Here's the information on that. Please support. How much are the tickets?
$20 or $25.
Cornetta Davis, who we know very well. And singing, what will you be doing?
I will be sitting and listening.
Okay. Watching your child.
Exactly. My work will have been done by that time. Yes.
Goodness.
Well, your work on this one would have been done.
Exactly.
There's other iterations yet to come.
Exactly.
And so I would imagine, I would imagine that what's important, at least for me in the takeaway, is it's another opportunity for us to be able to unearth and exalt our culture in a way that I would hope would empower people to know if folks going through this found a way to cope with this, right?
Exactly. There's been some interesting reaction to it that I've noticed already from people I've played it for. And the most interesting one is that there's an outburst of tears by the time they come to the end of it. They go through this journey.
Right.
It's amazing.
We don't know it as
sometimes
this,
I feel like a motherless child.
That's
we
number
don't
3.
Feel that's a deep feeling. A lot of people are having a hard time. There's a lot of confusion and conflict with the mental state of young people, but that spiritual that will make you cry.
But just think about this though, that stuff that was not unique to us, that we didn't experience suicide and all that, I think precisely. And there are people who would model this as otherworldly, whatever it is. That this was, when I talk about in my church about the kind of faith that my grandmother had, who literally, my brother, even though my grandfather was the first black foreman at Ford, she was a seamstress, founders of Tabernacle. My grandmother, because of her mother, would never open a cupboard in her kitchen, even though she knew it was full, without saying, God, fill my cabinets that there may be food on my table.
Wow.
This is how we made it.
Exactly.
And this is our story. And by the way, oh God, what's her name? She was my professor. Nick Cannon, Katie Cannon has done a whole piece on how this music and our culture really is the American culture. They just don't give us credit for it. We got 1 minute in.
Yeah, well,
is he staying over?
This is a tidbit that I want to add, and just like you said, there's a message, for slavery and whatnot in the music. There was also a message in cornrows.
That's right.
Because those cornrows a lot of times were maps to show you your way to freedom.
All right. Okay. You got something different. We're gonna take. I thought you wanted the ones in your head.
That's the ones I'm talking about.
I thought you just trying to justify to your mama why you had that stuff in your head.
No.
We'll be right back after this. Now, this one, I couldn't remember. I was trying to, pull all that stuff in from the demiurge. You know about the demiurge. You elevate your mind through math and whatever. Plato said you can reach the demiurge. There's nothing new under the sun. And I thought about the song that my grandmother loved the most. I want to be in that number when all the saints roll in. You know that? After separating from the wrong, I want to be in that number around the throne. That was a good one, Come on, man.
Was that a shout
Now,
out
they
there?
tell me you have something to do with the Lions song.
Who told you that, Reverend?
Well, look, let me just tell you something. I'm an avid Lions fan. I got season tickets at the 50-yard line. I go on the road. I'll be in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Robert Porsche, all these are my people that, So, when I heard that, all the rest of the history and music went second place.
Right. Well, I sang the fight song.
That's what I'm talking about.
From 1998 through 2003.
Well, right now, you're getting ready to do it in 2025. How about that?
I sure hope so.
behind
Go
you.
ahead.
What do you mean till 2003? Who else sings it?
Some
Well, I don't
other
know.
guys
Some
sing it.
imposter. Some imposter. That's what
Forward down the field. Go ahead.
Forward down the field, the charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rah, rah, rah. Go hard, win the game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lion victory.
This is my part.
Go Lions! Right.
Well, I just figured out. Change the thing. They just got a guy pantomime.
Exactly. That's
Like
my
Millie
voice. Yeah.
Vanilli. That's who he is, right?
Exactly.
He ain't
Oh,
really
yeah.
singing.
Is that what he's
Yeah.
doing?
Lip
Yeah.
singing?
Yeah, he's lip singing.
Well, I had a live band, which is kind of exciting. Don't have that anymore.
He's
Yeah.
lip singing, man. That's
Yeah.
AI.
Everything's on tape. Everything's on tape.
Exactly.
You mean he literally stands there doing that?
I'm just
was
what,
there.
what do I need to tell you? When I tell you something, just take it and write it down.
Okay.
I've been right up on him, man, and watched him do it. You know, because I wondered myself. But at any rate, I think what we should do is call them and tell them they need to substitute your voice for it.
Oh, fine.
I'm gonna do that. You think I'm joking?
I agree.
A good friend of mine is the personal security for the owner.
Wow.
I think it might be some royalties involved in that too.
Terrence Thomas, former lieutenant with DPD, is her personal security. And we want the real thing.
That's what I mean. But the real thing gets royalties.
Dr. Duncan the fourth. I'm the third, so you eclipse me.
I have a fifth and I have a sixth.
Well, how about that? Yeah. Well, I have a fourth.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to have a fifth or a sixth. He's 40 years old.
Well, I have a fifth for him today in his honor.
And my daughter's getting, no, you ain't going to have one for me.
I said his honor. I didn't say your honor.
I don't want mine smoking no cigars.
No, I said a fifth.
But my daughter's getting married December 7th. You know, she's indicated she wants to have, I've got two granddaughters, one of whom is extremely brilliant. Speaks. I mean, y'all.
I was thinking about hooking up with my grandson.
My God, she's something else. She'll get up in a moment's notice in front of whoever, and she is so gifted. My 2-year-old is going to be coming along. Anyway, make a long story short, let's tell people real quickly again about the event.
Yes.
We have you here so that people will support that tomorrow. Pull that back up.
It's in Macomb
Olivia.
County.
Okay. Macomb Symphony Orchestra, Nora Duncan IV, Journey from Slavery to Freedom, national premiere.
Actually, it's the world premiere.
World premiere.
Oh,
Let's
there
get
you go.
that back. It's not eclipse.
That's it.
The
Exactly.
significance of this.
Exactly.
How about the universal premiere?
Yeah.
Featuring soprano Amber Rogers, alto Thornada Davis, baritone Theodore Jones, bass Horace Sheffield, Oakland Choral Society. That's tomorrow at 3 p.m. For more information, go to www.macombsymphony.org. So are you a history of music?
Yes.
So my mother and father were history, and maybe 8 or 9 years of age, I read the story about Marian Anderson. Do you know about her story?
Oh, sure.
What's significant about her story is when they would not let her sing in Carnegie Hall, Eleanor Roosevelt sponsored a concert on the stairs.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But what was more significant in that book, by the way, which my mother always asked me, what did I get from it? And I said, well, when one door is open, somebody help you open another one. Don't stand. Helen Keller said, don't spend your time in front of the door that's been closed, find the one that's been opened.
That's right.
But what's more significant is what she said happened when she was a child. You know what she said happened?
No.
She was at a county fair with her father. And it was a segregated fair. So there was a portion that only blacks could be in. And on the line of that, there was a man with balloons who'd given a little white girl a white balloon, and she released it, and it rolls and rolls until it disappeared. And she told her dad, Daddy, I want a white balloon like that little white girl. So he went over to the man and he said, I don't have any more. He said, but I have a black balloon. This is a true story. And she said, no, I don't want a black balloon. I want a white one that will rise and rise until it disappears. So he fills the black balloon with helium. He said, sweetheart, it wasn't the color of the balloon that made it rise. It was what was on the inside.
That's right, man.
Beautiful.
I'm blessed, man, because my mother, her birthday was November 13th. She'd have been 99 years of age. She was my dad, her. But as articulate as my dad was, it was my mother who made me read and gave me an English tutor and had me read stuff like that, right? And make me be able to give her the anecdotal, answer to what was, really germane to the story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people don't get scriptures, because they don't really understand what's being said. But this is exciting. Is it expensive to put this on?
Yes, it costs about $50,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Well then.
Well, I was going to say, pull up the stylistics for me real quick. So I have a beautiful venue down the street that we saved from wreckage. It's 102 years of age. It's the Gabriel Shaw Library. It's worth about $4.5 million now. We put $1 million in it. Amen. And we have great events. We've had the OJs, Eddie Levert, you name it, we've had them there. So we are. And I have some funders, so we might want to look at doing this down there.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be really great, and it's a great venue. You got to see it. People from all over the country come. I got people using it everywhere. Have you been there?
Not yet.
Oh,
not yet. I got to get there. Dr. Nora.
You sprinkle some dust when you walk around.
Of course, you know how I do. Everywhere I go, Dr. Nora.
By the way, what are your sisters' names? I'm sorry.
Marilyn and Francine.
And Marilyn, you support your brother like this. Isn't that wonderful?
I love that.
Are you younger or older?
I'm in between.
Okay. Because I have 3 sisters, and all of my sisters are or were older than me. I'm the baby, and I'm the only boy. But you know what that means. Go ahead.
So as some privilege to experience your music, or maybe I hadn't realized it at some point in my life, this incredible composition that you've put together, what can people expect when they come, and how would you what would your biggest takeaway from this composition and the experience that you are going to enjoy and take in during the performance? What are we leaving with here?
Let us not forget the struggle, which is ongoing. It has not come to an end.
Correct.
It's
ongoing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? My 2 cents is what people should leave with their eyes full of tears.
Yeah.
Oh,
You should.
okay. Yeah.
Gosh,
You know what I mean?
should be
Just
walking
being
out.
emotionally
Wake up.
The price of
moved.
freedom is eternal vigilance.
That's what I'm getting to.
Whatever has been can be again.
Exactly.
But we need stewards and shepherds of folks who see the biggest problem we have, and it's always been a problem. And my dad was very close to Dr. King, spent time in Clarence Jones' house, really wrote or framed the I Have a Dream speech. And has always said, the problem is we got so many folk who subscribe to sentiments but never offer action.
Correct.
Yeah.
I said that. That's me saying that, right? Yeah. We feel a certain way, right? We respond on social media, but the reason we're in the boat we're in because we don't have enough folk picking up oars to steer us in a different damn direction. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say damn.
You got to be in the gym to shoot.
I'm just saying. I mean, but we had to become more action oriented. Yeah. And here's where I'm gonna leave on this, and you have the last word. Is when you talk about Sweet Honey in the Rock, and you talk about the songs that undergirded the civil rights movement, right? These were the inspirational messages that motivated folks, right, to make the contributions they did. And do you see that happening again in the era in which we find ourselves?
I do. All the successes of the civil rights movement, I believe, are being dismantled today.
One by one.
Been dismantled.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a thread.
Libraries.
We have a new name for that because we had a guy here talking about what people were exposed to in Vietnam. So we now call them Agent Orange. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that the students didn't know what a spiritual was.
Yes.
Is one obvious evidence of that. But
That
also
hurts my
the fact that there's exhibits that are being taken down all over the country because of DEI, which I thought was a very positive American thing.
Yeah.
But it's dismantling
Not
everything.
only that, but the work of organizations have been imperiled. I mean,
Exactly.
ours, because of the funds that we get and have gotten, we've had to reframe our name for this era only to enable Detroit, because with Black in it, they wouldn't continue to fund us. Same for other organizations in the city of Detroit that I know of as well. But here's the thing, that's all tied to our inability to, right?
Right.
James Farmer said down there, another friend of my dad's, that politics is the most mundane art, who gets what and how much. And anyone, I thought was a good twist where he put it, who does not vote, let someone else decide what they don't have.
Come on.
Correct.
Come on.
Not what you get, but what you don't have.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, this is a blessing. We had a great show today, and let's go out and support this wonderful work of Nora Duncan IV, From Slavery to Freedom, tomorrow at 3 p.m. At the Macomb Symphony. Well, it's at the Oakland. Where's it held at? It's the Macomb Center for the Performing Arts. All right, we got to go. See you next week.
And remember, Detroit is always, we love you.